Good morning and welcome, my friends, to YouTooSpain Live. This week, I'll be welcoming a brand new guest to the show. She's a lawyer from Madrid. How exciting. Well, I say she'll be joining us. She's not logged in yet, so that's a little bit nervous. I've been sending her messages for the last half an hour, so hopefully she'll be with us and she'll be answering your questions about moving to the capital city and its surroundings and living there. And I'm sure you'll learn something and enjoy the show wherever you want your Spanish stream to take you. So join us on the live chat or in the comments below, because you are a part of this too. If Maria doesn't join us, or until she joins us, I'm going to tell you what's happening in Spain. I've got some news lined up for you anyway, so we'll enjoy the show together. You are welcome to YouTooSpain. Run the theme music, and of course, let's dance. Oh yes, that's groovy. And so is this program. So while we're waiting for Maria, and hopefully she's okay, sending her the best wishes. Hopefully it's just a technical glitch that's going on, and that she's okay. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's do some news, shall we? Is there anybody here on the chat? Nobody's joined yet. Well, nobody's said hello. Say hello to us on the chat, and we can see who's with us. I'll let a few of you join while we get started. So nothing from Maria. I will go. I'm going to do some news for you, and let's put up. I'm going to share this screen. I'm going to get the news from Spain in English, which is one of my favorite newspapers here, because it tells you all of the headlines that are going on. Let's move. Actually, here's a good one to start off with. Let's get that up. Indeed. Come on. Here's the news. Pedro Almodóvar. He's a great director. He's won a Lifetime Achievement Award at the San Sebastian Festival. Isn't that marvellous? So let's tell you this. I'll read you this news just in case you can't see it on the screen. It is very small, isn't it? So, Oscar-winning Spanish director Pedro Almodóvar received a Lifetime Achievement Donostia Award at the San Sebastian Film Festival on Thursday, getting emotional as he was given a prolonged standing ovation, and well-deserved as well. He's a great director. Morning, Mike Ripper. I see you're with us. Morning, everyone else who's joining us. This is one of these shows that might be a little bit... it's a bit of a narrow niche. I know that Madrid's a big place, but I expect that there are some of our regular viewers. A lot of our regular viewers are on the south coast or the east coast of Spain, so they might not be interested in moving to the capital, but we'll carry on anyway. I'm sure it's going to be a great show. Let's see. Pedro Almodóvar. So he says, "Cinema has given me everything, much more than I could have imagined," said Almodóvar, who turned 75 on Wednesday after he picked up the prize. Now, you notice how I'm pronouncing his name. I've been calling him Pedro Almodóvar, and it is because of that little accent over the O that you can see his name there. That's the one that you stress. A little bit of Spanish pronunciation for you. So it's Almodóvar, actually, because V's are pronounced like B's. So I didn't quite get that right. So that's what he said. He turned 75 on Wednesday. Happy birthday, Pedro. That was after he picked up the prize when he said that. The Donostia Award for extraordinary contributions to the world of cinema was handed to him at a ceremony attended by the Spanish Prime Minister, Pedro Sánchez. I'm sure we'll hear more from Pedro Sánchez in the other news items. What does Mike Ripper say? Come on, where's the bongs? Bing bong, we already celebrated with the bongs on my other channel. Did you want more? We can have some bongs later on, and some bings too. Why not? Not Bing Crosby. Ignore the adverts on here, by the way. They're nothing to do with me. Trying to get a fat belly. Why are you not losing weight? Yes, why? Why are all of you not losing weight? That's what you're here for, isn't it? So, Almodóvar began his cinema career with kitschy, that's a lovely word, kitschy black comedies such as his first feature, Pepe, Lucy, Bomb and the Other Girls on the Heap, which premiered at the San Sebastian in 1980 at the same festival. He burst onto the international scene with his 1988 Oscar-winning dark comedy, Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown. That is, I am told, a very good film. This tells the story of a woman who's just been dumped by her lover. Her apartment becomes the scene of hostage situations and accidental overdoses. Over time, however, a more serious element of the prolific Spanish director emerged, and this is exemplified in films such as 2002's Talk to Her, which won Almodóvar the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay, which is rare for a non-English film. Now, I think his latest film is actually in English, I believe. I might be wrong with that. So, yes, here we go. Oh, yes, his first feature film in English, The Room Next Door, starred Tilda Swinton and Julianne Moore, which is screened later on Thursday at the festival. Morning, Barry from Unitech. How are you doing? I just explained to people who've only just joined us that our guest hasn't turned up. She's not answering the messages I'm sending her, so I hope she's okay. This is Maria, the lawyer from Madrid. I'm hoping we're going to be able to talk about that, but for the moment we're talking about the news in Spain, which is lovely, and I've got it up on the screen there. And don't worry about your flat belly at 60s, Barry. We can you can sort that out with golf, I'm sure. So that film I was talking about, The Room Next Door, won the Golden Lion and then the top prize, which is the top prize at the Venice Film Festival. That won it earlier this month, and where it received a 17-minute standing ovation. Yes, it was Swinton who presented Almodóvar with the Donostia Award, praising his unparalleled contribution to world culture for inspiring in us such a devoted affection. Your work is good for the world. We thank you for it from the bottom of our hearts. You will live forever, she said. There we go. That's a big claim. Almodóvar said, for me, cinema is a blessing or a curse. I can't imagine any other kind of life in which I can write and direct non-stop. He paid tribute to many of the actors who have worked with him, including Penelope Cruz, Carmen Maura, Antonio Banderas, who's from Malaga, by the way, just down the road, Cecilia Ross and Rossi de Palma. So there you go. And that's the end of that news item. There he is, receiving that award. And there's indeed is Tilda Swinton, I think. And E9 Hug, morning, Skatz. So, and Barry from Unitech says, I had an ex-girlfriend do that to me, made you lose weight. Yeah, 3.5 stone lost since July. Wow, I'm a double for Brad Pitt now. Tell you what, that's very appropriate, because one of the headlines on this one, let's move to that one, is this one here. Thank you for mentioning it, Barry, because that isn't, I don't think that's a real Brad Pitt. I think that's a fake one. Guardia Civil arrest fake Brad Pitts who scammed women out of €325,000. How have they done that then? Let's find out. Spain's Guardia Civil, they're the serious ones. The police said on Monday that they had arrested 5 people. So there are at least 5 people who look like Brad Pitt, accused of scamming 2 people of €325,000 by posing as the Hollywood star Brad Pitt via online platforms and WhatsApp messages. Do they need to look like him? I wonder. Or do they just put a fake photo? Or you can do fake videos nowadays and make their mouth move with, and you just have to do the voice. I'm sure they've just AI'd his voice as well these days. There's amazing things you can do. I'm going to reveal actually that the voice that was doing the videos, Mike Rebber says, that's Barry. There you are. Barry says it wasn't me. I was in Warrington. Yeah, that's where Brad Pitt comes from, isn't it? Yeah. It's all fake news these days, isn't it? But this is proper news. The suspects made contact with the women on the social media page for fans of the Oscar-winning actor. Oh yeah, sneaky, and led them to believe they had a sentimental relationship with him. The Guardia Civil said in a statement. Posing as Pitt, the members of the gang then allegedly proposed that the woman invest in various projects that did not exist. Just a hint for everybody. I'm not blaming the women who've been scammed on this, because it's obviously horrible what's happened to them. But some people are in a vulnerable position, and they're looking for something exciting in their lives, and they can fall for these scammers because they're very, very clever. These people, they make it look wonderful, and that life is going to be amazing if you give them loads of money. So the secret is, in general, if anybody asks you for money or for bank details or to click on something in a message, then don't do it, because they're trying to get something out of you. They're scammers, and there's so many of them about. You get these messages all the time from the DGT, which is the Traffico, the traffic people, and they say you've got a fine for doing something, and they say click on here and you can find out how to pay it within 7 days, or it'll double in price, and that's a scary thing. So don't click on those things. And if you get messages from Correos, those little messages, they're very, very frequent, and I get them a lot. First time I did it, I went down, Correos of the post office, by the way. I went straight down to the post office and went, have you got something for me, and do I have to pay anything? And well, I said that in Spanish, and the woman on the desk just went, scam, and that was it. And so Barry says, yes, that's what Barry looks like now. Barry says, my wife scammed me for 35 years ago when I met her. She said she could cook. Oh dear, hope she's not watching. You're going to get into big trouble, Barry. Mike Ripper says, never a borrower nor a lender be. Well, true. That's not good for the banks, is it? Terrible. They'll object to that. Cheers. Still alive. Here we go. Let's carry on with this article then. Let's see. One woman from Andalusia was defrauded of 175,000 euros, while the other from the Basque Country lost 150,000 euros. In uncovering the scam, the police codenamed their undercover work as Operation Bralina. Oh, I wonder what that means, what that relates to. The cyber criminals, to capture the victims, had studied their social networks and made a psychological profile of them, thus discovering that both women were two vulnerable people. There you go. Lacking in affection, in a state of depression. Yes, yes, indeed. What's that message from Mike Ripper? Oh, you've just put some smiley faces there. There you go. So why are all these messages coming up? These are all messages for me, not for you, aren't they? Because, but I've not been looking at anything like that. I have been talking about losing weight a little bit. I think I didn't I? On my video on Still Alive, I was talking about losing weight, and that I've mentioned it so many times now. It's going to come up on my phone, on my computer, on my laptop, and the messages are going to start appearing in my head. I was looking at those new glasses that you can get from Meta, the Facebook channel, the whole Facebook world, and you can now buy the glasses the way you can get things on the screen and 3D virtual reality stuff going on around you. That it puts instead of being like the glasses where you can't see what's going on around you, it imprints things on top of the world, so you can still walk around in the world and have music playing. You can have displays of things going on. You can have all kinds of stuff with them. So I was looking at them to see what happens. And I think Apple have been doing them for longer, and they're more expensive. The Meta ones are in the sort of 300 to 400 euros region. So let's see how that develops. There we go. Barry's response to Mike. Never a borrower nor a lender. He says, so they were married then. Oh, I see. Oh, you're responding to the article about being depressed. There we go. So they also used instant messaging platforms to exchange messages and emails with the two women until they reached a point where they believed they were chatting via WhatsApp with Brad Pitt himself, who promised them a romantic relationship and a future together. Police arrested 5 people in the southern region of Andalusia, including the suspected leaders of the group. That's good. 10 others are under investigation as part of the Bralina operation carried out in the provinces of Almeria, Malaga, Vizcaya, I don't know where that is, Barcelona, Granada, Madrid, Huelva and Seville. Huelva, I love the sound of that place. That's just north of Cadiz. Oh, it's actually that whole province, isn't it? I think Cadiz is in there. And Barry says, and there is so much stuff going on, you walk into lampposts. Yeah, I assume that's what happens with the ones where you can't see what's happening in the world. I can't see those ones taking off. If you've just got to stand still and pretend you're walking around, you're just going to be stuck at home, aren't you? But with these other glasses, I think they'd be handy for me when I'm doing gigs. So I don't have to have my iPad in front of me with the lyrics on it. I can have the lyrics going by just in front of my eyes so that they're there and they're in front of the audience. And I can also do it on this show as well. Instead of having a script, I could just have it all like a teleprompter in front of my eyes. I'm not using a teleprompter now, by the way. This is all off the top of my head and from Spain in English. There you go. Mike Ripper says, the Basque Country. Is that where Vizcaya is? I assume that's what you're answering. This 20-second delay isn't helping. But here we go. So, carrying on with the article, the police raided 5 homes as part of their operation, seizing several mobile phones, bank cards, 2 computers and a diary in which the phrases used by the fraudsters to deceive their victims were written down. Yeah, they're using a script. They've got it on their glasses, haven't they? The Guardia Civil discovered that the cyber criminals had created a network of bank accounts registered with falsified documentation of people of African nationalities such as Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal and Sierra Leone, in which the scammed money was received. They also used Mulesi, who in exchange for a small amount of money received the scammed money and later transferred it to other accounts to launder it. Following the investigation that first began in November 23, 2 people were arrested in San Isidro de Níjar, that's in Almeria, and a 3rd individual in Malaga for receiving part of the scammed money into their bank accounts. There we go. Some of the money's been recovered, it says, later on. Oh, the leaders of the dismantled criminal organisation were arrested in Torremolinos and Malaga. Officers were able to recover 85,000 of the money that was defrauded from the 2 women. Well, that's a start. I don't know if there's any kind of insurance you can get for that. Mike Ripper says, back to the glasses. I walked into the closed patio door twice. I knew I shouldn't have cleaned the glass. Damn near broke my nose. Have you already got some of those glasses then, Mike? That'd be lovely to see. I'd love to hear what you think of them. There we go. So that's the end of that article. Let's move on to the next one. We've got to go back to the main page. What is the next one? Oh yes, this is a really interesting one. It's on climate change. Let's see what Barry was talking about first. Funny. He says, funny you should mention Andalusia. There's a thread going on X, a woman who is blaming Brexit for not being able to move to Italy now she's retired, but she's lived and worked in Spain for 30 years. Well, she should be able to get EU permanent residency. It's not the easiest thing to get. It's not like just getting the permanent residency that we talk about you getting after being here for 5 years, but there is a way of doing that. And once you've got that, then you can move to Italy. So there you go. And somebody should tell her, but nobody can tell anything on X and get them to believe it, can they? Or can they? Some American politicians probably, and of course the owner of X himself. He comes out with some stuff, doesn't he? Anyway, let's not talk politics. Well, there's going to be some politics. This is a politician you can see on the screen. Let's find out her name. That's the what is her title? The Ecology Minister of Spain, Teresa Ribera. And she was actually appointed last week as EU Commissioner, which is the main top EU role in steering climate transition. That's a good word for it, climate transition. So Spain has now set a target of 81% green electricity by the end of 2030. And that means that they want 81% of their electricity to come from renewable sources by the end of 2030 to meet its climate goals, the government announced on Tuesday. In the plan, adopted by ministers and sent to the European Commission, the government committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 32% compared with 1990 levels. So that's a 9-point increase on the 23% set out in the last plan from 2021. Good, that's lovely. To achieve this, the government promised to accelerate the deployment of renewable energies to produce 81% of Spain's electricity from green sources by the end of the decade, which is a 7-point increase on the 74% target in 2021. We believe this is an ambitious but achievable goal, said Teresa Ribera. And there you go. So these targets will mainly be achieved by increases in solar and wind, which have grown more rapidly than expected in recent years, Ribera said. This will reduce Spain's energy dependency on foreign sources, the minister added, projecting it will be reduced from 61% currently to 50% by the end of the decade. In recent years, Spain has poured investment into solar and wind farms, predominantly located in the sparsely populated centre of the country, which is what we were going to be talking about anyway. There we go, we're in the centre of the country, to take advantage of the Iberian Peninsula's consistent sunshine and abundance of windy areas. Yeah, I tell you what, on that part of Spain, I'm talking about Huelva, there's a lot of wind coming in there because it's coming in off the Atlantic. That's the Atlantic coast because it's beyond, yes, you know, that little hook place, Gibraltar, where you come in to the Mediterranean. There we go. Any more comments come in? Barry from Unisex says, I wonder what China and India's climate goals are. Do you know, we were talking about the climate goals and the way that China managed to build amazing things within a couple of years. And they were talking about, let's get this into my head, there was a village and they wanted to flood the valley in order to create this dam, which was going to create power for a huge number of people. And they moved the whole village, or even the town it was, I think, that not all together. They did it. They took it all apart, brick by brick, and took it to a different place, which wasn't in the valley that was going to be flooded. And then they built the dam, and it was all done very, very quickly. So China is doing some of it. Granted, they've got, as far as I can remember, they've got lots of coal mining that they're still doing, but the technology and the speed of technology innovation in China and also in India is quite staggering. And I hope they build on some of the climate goals that other countries are doing. The moment that big industry started accepting that they need to have some climate targets and that they could probably make some money out of it. This is the main thing. If you make the big businesses believe and understand and see the science behind it, that there is, and they're doing a lot of the science themselves now, I think. If you can get them to understand that and how they can make money from it, then everything's going to move along a lot quicker, I believe. Money is behind everything. Follow the dollar. There we go. So anyway, in 2023, Spain produced more than half its electricity from renewable sources for the first time in its history, according to the country's grid manager. Over 23% came from wind and 14% from solar power. Lots more people who are building or having properties built in Spain, I can see. having panels on the roof, because they know that they're going to have to save in the future. The plan also raises government's aims for so-called green hydrogen. Hydrogen's a bit interesting. I don't know how easy and cheap it is to produce. That's produced from renewable sources as opposed to grey hydrogen made from fossil fuels without carbon capture. Oh, that's something new to me. In total, the plan commits to produce enough electrolyzers, machines used to make green hydrogen, to generate 12 gigawatts worth compared to the 4 gigawatts worth previously planned. Now, I don't know how much that is, but it's gigawatts. Quite big things, aren't they? So Spain is, I tell you what, cheers again. Dry mouth from doing a lot of talking. Still heard nothing from Maria, by the way. Getting a little bit worried now. Don't know what's going on there. Hello, Maria, if you're watching and you can't get through. Spain is at the forefront of the production of green hydrogen. Oh, is it? Which advocates consider essential to decarbonising industry and transport. Madrid hopes to begin exporting the gas through a pipeline linking Madrid to Marseille in France, which is expected to come into service in 2030. However, critics, there are always critics, and I suppose they have to be in making sure that all of this technology is really good, and that they're not using fossil fuels up in a different way. There's a lot of arguments about electric cars on that, about what the problems with creating the batteries and the lithium that they have to dig up, and it's done by people who are very young in very poor countries. So yeah, that's one of the problems. Anyway, critics say producing it at mass scale is a major challenge. Yeah, it's a major challenge, climate change, as costs remain high and the infrastructure is so far lacking. Invest in the stuff then. Put the money there. Get the big businesses, get the oil companies to do it. They're good at big projects. If the bosses do it, then everybody will get on board. Yeah, and get the stuff from space as well. I'm sure you can get lithium from some comets. Comets would be a better place to get them from, or other bodies in space, because there's a lot of stuff up there. Right, let's move on to the next article. I don't know too much about climate change, but all I know is it's real. Here we go. Here's an interesting article from the SAS. That's a Spanish company. What's that? Oh no, it's Scandinavian Airlines. Sorry, but the headline gave me a giggle. Live mouse in passenger's meal forces Spain-bound flight to make an unscheduled landing. I've never had mouse served to me on a flight before. A Scandinavian Airlines plane from Oslo in Norway heading to Malaga in southern Spain was forced to make an unscheduled landing in Copenhagen in Denmark after a live mouse scampered out of a box. Oh no, that must have been awful. Containing a passenger's in-flight meal. The airline group said on Friday. The incident had occurred on Wednesday. Tell you what, sometimes some of the food I've had on planes before. I'm not saying that Scandinavian Airlines has bad food. I've never been on one of their planes, but some of the food I've had, might not have been preferable to mouse. I've never eaten mouse, so I don't know. Mike Ripper says you can get lithium in Comet. Oh, Comet's a shop. I thought they'd closed down. I think they did. I think they were bought up by one of the other big chains. I can't remember shops in the UK now. But yeah, I used to go to Comet a lot. Yeah, I wonder if they have mouse in Comet as well. I'm confusing my news items. Oh dear. Where am I? Airlines. Airlines usually strictly prohibit rodents on board. Of course they do, because the animals can chew through electrical wiring, key to the operation of a plane. So why did you put them in your food then? Believe it or not, a lady next to me opened her food and a mouse jumped out, wrote one passenger. Yalla Boristad. Apologies if I've pronounced your name wrong. On his Facebook page, so it must be true, along with a photo showing him smiling next to two other women also smiling. Oh, well, they've taken it in good heart anyway. Boristad told the BBC that the rodent made its debut. That's a good way of saying it, yes. I wonder if it ran out and went, ta-da! From the box of food that the woman sat next to him on the flight was opening. Boristad told it. Sounds like a scam, doesn't it? Boristad told the news outlet that the situation was very calm and that people were not stressed at all. Well, that's good. Nevertheless, he also admitted to the BBC that he put his socks over his trousers. Put his socks over his trousers. Oh, I see. Tucked his trousers into his socks. No, I'm going to say he must have had huge socks, so the mouse would not crawl up his legs. Well, yes. I wonder. That's always what we're afraid of, isn't it? When we see creatures, we're going to say that we don't want them crawling up our legs. We're afraid of what might happen up there. Do animals like to do that? It was always ferrets when I was growing up. Ferrets down your trousers. There we go. What's Barry saying? Nothing yet. It's all blank. I'll wait until that appears. A spokesman for SAS, Oystein Schmidt, said that in line with our procedures, there was a change of aircraft. Of course, yes. And the passengers were flown. I hope it wasn't in midair. And the passengers were flown to Malaga on another flight. This is something that happens extremely rarely, he said of the incident. So that means it's happened before? Do you often get mice leaping out of the food? Wow. We have established procedures for such situations. It must have happened before if they've established procedures, which also include a review with our suppliers to ensure this does not happen again, he said. According to protocol and procedures, the plane had to make the diversion for an inspection and fumigation process. Oh no, they're going to destroy the mouse. And to transport the passengers on board to another aircraft. In these cases, we have very clear procedures to follow, including full inspection of the aircraft and all of our suppliers' processes to see what needs to be improved. Fewer mice, I think, that's what needs to be improved, or changed in order. That's what needs to be changed in order to avoid scenarios like these in the future. SAS said, "It's a scenario. It's like it's a play." And Upsticks to Spain is on. Hola todos, great show again. Hi Chris, hope you're enjoying it. I'm reading the news because our guest hasn't showed up. Sorry to everybody who's expecting to be talking about Madrid and how to move there. I think what we have in the live chat is just some of our regulars watching, so thank you to our regulars. If anyone else is watching on there, then say hello on the live chat. You just have to tap in. You won't appear on the screen, just your words will appear. Cheers to anybody who's joining. Still alive. And by the way, click on the like button if you're enjoying the news, and subscribe if you haven't already. I've not got the time to hit all of those things that appear on the bottom of the screen. And yeah, actually, one thing I'm going to do. No, I'm going to put one of the QR codes up. Let's put the GoFundMe up just for a change in the corner of the screen. So if any of you want to donate to the cause, that will be wonderful. So let's move on from the live mice on flights to the next one. That's Pedro Almodóvar again. Let's have a look at this one. This is a tragic one. We were going to be talking about Toledo as well as Madrid, I'm sure, because Maria told me the other day when we were talking about the show that she also covers Toledo, because that's close to Madrid. It's in the same community, I think. Barry says, if this happens again, you should have an open mic event and all of us in the chat could join a mass group chat. There we go. What could possibly go wrong? Do you mean having you on video as well? It could be, that could be arranged. I could just bring on the guests so we can all have a big chat on the screen as if it's a mini webinar. That's possible. And or do you mean a musical open mic event? That would be interesting. Unfortunately, though, we can't play anybody else's music Although that could be fortunately, because everybody playing their own music, that would be wonderful. What could possibly go wrong? I can imagine quite a lot of things that could possibly go wrong with that technologically. But I think it's a good idea. But there's no way of knowing that that's going to happen in advance. So, but maybe I could do a show like that anyway and just announce it to be that. I'm going to have to change the title of this show for anybody watching afterwards so that they know what's going wrong. Anyway, back to this news item. It is a tragic one. I should stop smiling when I'm reading it and do the proper news anchor thing. Bull kills 74-year-old man and injures 3 others at village festival near Toledo. There's a lot of bull runs happen in the up towards the north of the country. I don't think there's any down south, are there? Anyway, a bull on a rampage caused the death of 1 person and left 3 others injured during a village bull running festival in Spain on Tuesday. The animal broke through a metal safety barrier and charged into a group of people prior to the start of the traditional event. Footage shared on social media, see below, we'll have a look at that in a moment, shows the bull, which was set to run through the streets of Pantoja, located in the province of Toledo, which is in Castilla-La Mancha, that's the autonomous community, breaking loose and goring a spectator, creating chaos among the crowd. A 74-year-old man succumbed to injuries inflicted by the bull's horns. An 83-year-old man and a 55-year-old woman were also transported to a hospital in Toledo, where one of them, with one of them reportedly in a very serious condition. A 4-year-old girl sustained minor injuries during the incident, but was said to have recovered swiftly. The deceased man was from Skatz, a town roughly 6 kilometres from Pantoja, also situated in Toledo province. The bull, after terrifying more villagers, eventually ran into a nearby field where it was shot and killed by a police officer. That's sad. Wasn't the bull's fault. Having been unloaded from a cattle truck near the barrier that failed, the bull shocked its handlers by charging towards the spectators. Well, yes. You might do that yourself if you've been locked up by that and there's lots of noise going on around you. Well, Ciaran, the mayor of Pantoja, explained that the barriers for the bull run had undergone a safety inspection just minutes before the event began. Going to have to change some of their procedures, I think, there. However, concerns have been raised over why people were allowed to stand near a barrier that ultimately could not withstand the bull's force. The people of Pantoja are heartbroken, Torrejon said. We deeply regret what has happened and extend our sincerest condolences to the family. Following the tragic event, the Pantoja Council cancelled the remainder of Tuesday's festival and declared a day of mourning. Bull-related fatalities at Spanish festivals typically involve participants attempting to outmaneuver the animals as they race through the streets rather than spectators behind barriers. According to the EFE news agency, or AFA, Spain's judicial police have launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the deadly incident. Good. We hope that comes up with some solutions and that they are implemented in future in these kind of events. Whether you support these kind of things or not, something has to be done. Let's see. Harry says, yes, video. Everybody together doing a Christmas special. That would be very good, yeah. We tried to do that last year and we did have a lot of, some of the people who'd been on the show before joined me. I think there was more than 10 because I couldn't get them all on the screen at the same time. That's the maximum, I think, that this platform will allow. But I can bring some of you in from the green room and move some others out when they've chatted. Yeah, that's a good idea. Jed Tierney, good morning, Jed, and hello to everyone else. Have you seen a particularly scathing article in the UK media denigrating Spain and its food? No, I haven't. Well, I'm going to ask, what paper was that in? I could probably guess. It's going to be one of 2 or 3 newspapers, probably one of 2. Tell us. And see if we can find that. Normally when I'm looking for UK news, there's only a few that I can access because all of the other ones want me to pay money to get their news every day, and I'm not paying money to those kind of newspapers because there's just a lot of conspiracy theories and all kinds of stuff in them, and overblown rubbish and fake news. So anyway, let's move on to maybe something less serious. Let's find out what it is. Oh, not that less serious. This is all about Spain. There's the King of Spain, by the way, King Felipe. So Spain will boycott Mexican president's inauguration due to King Felipe's snub. Oh, have they snubbed him? The Spanish government has said that it will be boycotting the swearing-in ceremony of the Mexican president-elect Claudia Sheinbaum. That doesn't sound like a Mexican name, does it? Because King Felipe VI has not been invited. Why have you not invited Felipe? Madrid called the king's exclusion from the ceremony on the 1st of October unacceptable. Absolutely. I don't know why I'm standing up for kings. I'm normally a bit of a Republican there. Mind you, it's a Republican country we have here anyway. For this reason, the Spanish government has decided not to participate in the inauguration at any level. The Spanish Foreign Ministry said in a statement. Mexico published the guest list a week ago for Sheinbaum's inauguration, who will be the country's first woman president. Well, that's good. Following her left-wing ruling party's landslide June election victory. I'm a little bit left-wing, so happy about that. But why have you... Oh, maybe it's because of the left-wingness that they're not inviting kings. Have they invited other kings? Or is it just Spain's? Have they got something against Spain? King Felipe VI was not on the list, which includes regional left-leaning leaders and also US First Lady Jill Biden. While Mexico and Spain have close historical and economic links, relations between the Latin American nation and its former colonial ruler have been strained since outgoing President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, an ally of Sheinbaum, took office in 2018. Well, okay then. Doesn't explain why no kings, or why no just one king. Poor Felipe there. He's looking slightly amused but concerned at the same time. The eyes say amused, the mouth not quite. So, what do you think, everyone? Any response to that article would be lovely. Let's move on to, let's see if there are any more articles on here. Still nothing from Maria. Are you okay, Maria? Oh, we're back to the fake Brad Pitt. And that's the target of Green. No, we've done all of their articles. That's all of their headlines, at least. Now, we've been on for 45 minutes. What I'll do is, if we can't find any more... Oh, that's just my homepage. Let's move on. I've got to open it up a little bit further. Sorry, you're going to get loads of adverts. Spotlight. Anything going on? Creative Connections Ireland. Oh, this is interesting. Seeing as I'm an Irish citizen, let's get this one. Let's remove all that advertising to get it out of the way. Thank you, by the way, to Spain in English for allowing me. I didn't even ask, but hopefully they won't remove this video. Mike Ripper's taking the mickey out of my one king. Was it just one king? Is he a Chinese king? Yes, it's the local Chinese takeaway, one king. And that's it. I'm not going to say there's only one letter away from being something very rude there. I'll let you guess that yourselves. So, Creative Connections Island in Sitges, which is just south of Barcelona, I think, on the coast there. Sitges 24 is an Irish arts festival, returns to Catalonia. I didn't realise that Creative Connections was an Irish festival, even though it's called Creative Connections Island. Maybe it's the first time I've heard of it. Maybe it's a different festival from what I was thinking. So the award-winning Creative Connections Island Sitges 24 festival will celebrate its 11th year. 11th year, and I've not heard of it. That's down to me, obviously. In the breathtaking Catalan town of Sitges from the 24th to the 27th of October. How lovely. Establishing itself as one of the most important Irish music festivals in Europe. Well, that's rather exciting. With a packed schedule, the festival will bring together more than 60 professional Irish performers. Every year, this gathering of artists creates a unique atmosphere of creativity and collaboration, where Irish and Catalan cultures are united, celebrated and showcased in the beautiful surroundings of the town. This year, the festival will primarily take place at the Casino Prado de Sitges, but the festival atmosphere will spread throughout the town in venues such as Societat Recreativa El Retiro, Cafeteria Montraig, La Vignette. I don't know if my pronunciation is good of these ones, because some of these are sound like more Catalan, and I don't know how you pronounce Catalan. So anyway, El Picnic, La Gralla and Lizaran, to name but a few. There will also be pop-up events throughout the town, in designated locations. That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Suddenly, pop, diddly 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 da, spreading the festival atmosphere with impromptu performances across Sitges. And is that the way you pronounce it? I think it is. In addition to the various performances and workshops, a highlight will be the festival parade touring the main streets of Sitges on Friday from La Fragata to El Jardín del Prado. The programme includes more than 50 music and dance performers, workshops and artists in conversation. And again this year, one of the most special aspects of this festival will be the gathering of young Irish traditional musicians who will be seen sharing their love of music at the Sitges Sessions. This is a very Irish thing. If you don't know what a session is, then it's a bunch of people playing, it's all acoustically. So no PA systems, no amplification. It's all just sitting around like these guys in this picture are doing. And these things just pop up in Irish pubs all of the time. So, and this is a dynamic youth programme featuring more than 220 young Irish artists who will travel this year. That's wonderful to hear. This year's artist lineup will see the welcome return of singers Cathy Jordan, Simon Morgan, percussionist Brian Fleming, along with the many artists who have performed in previous years. Oh, that's nice eye makeup, isn't it? Who is that? That's Maria Doyle Kennedy. Exciting newcomers to the festival include singers Maria Doyle Kennedy, who was in The Commitments and appeared in The Tudors and Downton Abbey. There you go. Didn't recognise her there. The 1993 Eurovision winner, Niamh. Do you know how to pronounce that word? Niamh Kavanagh, harpist Cormac de Barra, multi-instrumentalist Matthew Beryl, and whistle player Cormac Brannock. I know how to pronounce that one. I have a friend who's a whole family, in fact, of Brannocks. Brannock or Brannock, depending on which part of Ireland you come from. Such is the growing reputation of the festival throughout Irish music circles. How delightful. The songs of Brendan Graham with Cathy Jordan and Fergal Murray will also be a highlight, as well as the Dublin Song, which is a multimedia and live musical celebration of Dublin song and story. Over the weekend, from the local Sitges music scene, Joan Pinos and Jarrod Cagwin, amongst others, or Jarrod, will also feature in concerts and collaborations. So there you go. That's Jarrod and Brian Fleming and Cormac Brannock. Other notable events to watch out for are the return of Cornua, a festival choir of over 50 singers presenting Estime la Vida, Love Life. Sounds good to me. Under the direction of Duncan Brickenden, along with pianist extraordinaire Vincent Lynch, as well as the dynamic folk orchestra No Crows. I think I've heard of No Crows. A unique group with diverse musical roots from traditional Irish music, Latin rumba and classical rock, jazz, Catalan and Balkan music. That sounds fantastic. I like a bit of a mixture. There's more in this article. I think we'll make this the last article because we're running up close to the hour. But I'm definitely going to read through all of it because I'm very excited. I'm not sure I'll be able to get up to that because I may be heading towards having my operation at that point. But anyway, as ever, collaboration remains at the heart of this year's festival, with Coast to Coast will bring together the talents of artists such as Tim Doyle, Matthew Beryl, Simon Morgan and Richie Buckley, promising an exciting contemporary musical response to Irish and Catalan music and themes. This is lovely. It reminds me of a relative of mine, well, a brother-in-law of my wife Liz, who lives in northern France, in Brittany, which has a lot of similarities in between them and the Irish traditional music. So yes, that reminds me of that. And he had a band which combined those two similar kinds of music. Cafeteria Montreuil will play host to the, it's an Irish word, isn't it? Will play host to a youth stage every night where young people from the north, south, east and west of Ireland will rock the venue until late. It always happens till late in Ireland with their pulsating ensemble playing. Very good. That's Niamh Kavanagh, it says below the picture. Many of the festival activities are offered free of charge on the event website www.creative-connections.eu. You can consult the programme and you can buy tickets or go directly to the entrance of each of the concerts. The Creative Connections Ireland Sitges 24 Festival is organised by Artscope, a Dublin-based company specialising in the organisation of Celtic music festivals in Ireland and abroad and in the cultural promotion of their country. Good for you. Go for it. The festival is supported by Culture Ireland, the Ayuntamiento of Sitges and its tourism department, as well as the Irish Embassy in Madrid. Here at Sitges in English, we are proud to support the festival as media collaborators. In addition, does Sitges mean Spain? That's wonderful. Somebody tell me if that's true. In addition, the event generates an economic impact in the city as it will attract around 2,000 Irish people, many of whom extend their stay until Tuesday the 29th of October due to the national holiday weekend in their country. Yes, of course. There we go. That is lovely. I'm going to take off that thing on the screen and now I'm back. I'm back large. Let's go back to Jed Tierney. We were talking about this insulting, particularly scathing article in the UK media, which was denigrating Spain and its food. Jed now says it was in The Spectator, which is a glossy form of some newspapers, typically paints Spain as the stereotypical boozy, poor food, faulty towers, Manuel destination, ignores the real Spain we all love. Absolutely. We all know on this show. I really don't see why people denigrate, that's the word I was looking for, Spanish food. There's some amazing Spanish food and we've talked about it a lot on this show. And I know in a lot of Spanish restaurants, some of the standard fare is, steaks and burgers and things like that. But that's not the main cuisine of Spain. Tapa, that's good. Tapas. Wonderful, and you can get a lot of dishes there. Yeah, we'll talk about that on another show. We'll do a foodie show again. So there we go. Thanks again. I've got a message from Maria. She says, sorry, I had a problem, so I was not able to connect. Yesterday she felt sick and took some pills, so she's just woken up now. She's sorry to have missed it. What we will do is I'll have a word with her afterwards and we can get her on a show in future. We'll rebook for this show and we'll get it. And Barry says, 3, 2, 1, back in the room. Phone battery died, so I had to move to the PC in the East Wing. That's wonderful. You've got wings on your property. And thank you very much, Barry, for that lovely donation. Which I like the emoji description here. Some people can't make the emojis appear, excuse me, for some reason. And it says, pear character exaggeratedly stretching its arm forward to offer a cup of coffee. Lovely. Jolly good. I shall buy... I could probably get 2 cups of coffee for that. Thank you very much. There you go. That is lovely. Okay. So, there we go. that's leading up to the end of the show now. Let's get on to tell you who we've got on. Barry from Unitech says, Maria, we want to see her. Very well. Very good bit of rhyming. Thank you, Barry. Yes, you will see Maria, and that'll be lovely. Mike Ripper says, I've never had burgers in a real Spanish bar or restaurant. Yeah, very good. Stick to the Spanish food. That's what I say. Sometimes, there's, for the first time in the history of the award, a Spanish restaurant this year won the Best Burger Award, Best Burger in the world. Normally, it's an American company who are, of course, experts in burgers. That wins, not just one company, but it's an American company, always seems to win the awards. But this year it was a company that's based in Valencia, and they've produced a better burger than anyone else. And it's all using Galician steak from happy Galician cows. So there you go. That's why they've won it, because it's Spanish food. There you go. So if you produce one from Spanish food, and presumably all of the lovely ingredients that are on top of that come from Spain as well. So, you know, the peppers and the onions and all kinds of things, and the greenery and all of that stuff, and the cheese. It's all Spanish. So you can call it Spanish food. But yes, I appreciate you saying that, Mike. And I try and do that, but you know, sometimes I have pizza in Spanish restaurants, which is also nice. They do make good pizzas. Not everybody, but there you go. And Barry says, "Is a cow happy at being made into a burger, though?" No, because they can't speak, and it's too late by the time they're made into a burger. I know, but the sort of cows that these burgers are made from are treated usually very well during their life, and they're happy at those times. I've seen some great reports of how they play these cows music, classical music, and they look after them really well, because you don't want the cows to be stressed. You want them to be happy. There you go. So Mike Ripper says, I stand corrected. There you go. You can stand however you want, Mike. I'm happy either way. Let's see now. So yes, who do I have on the show next week? Well, of course, it's Chris from Upsticks, with the regular fortnightly format where we answer all of your questions and have a special feature about the most important issue of the week. And of course, we'll be debating and arguing about something important or hilarious or both. You can ask questions in advance on the Facebook page and you will be answered. Mike Ripper says French pizza is the best. I have had some very good French pizza, especially down in the at the bottom end of the country near the Italian border. That is the place to get it. And, you know, in a wood-fired oven. Absolutely gorgeous. Barry says, with pineapple? No. Do you know what? I actually do like ham and pineapple. But it's not the sort of thing I'd choose to have on a pizza. Liz doesn't like meat with any kind of fruit. So that makes it difficult to do Christmas dinner with cranberries. I don't like that either. But, you know, duck à l'orange and there's all kinds of lovely food that you get with some bits of fruit added, and salads that have got just a little bit of fruit in there as well. I like them. There you go. It's all a matter of taste, isn't it? So thank you all for joining us. I will announce what the subject of next week's show is going to be, the main feature during the week on the Facebook page. Thank you for joining us and leaving comments and hitting the like button and supporting us with donations and memberships. It's all very much appreciated. So I will see you either on the midweek video or live on Saturday mornings at the regular time of 9 o'clock if you're in the UK or Ireland or Portugal, or 10 o'clock if you're in Spain or Central Europe. That is all for this week. Somebody pass around the news cookies. Peace and love. Peas and fluff. Barry says, tomato is a fruit. Follow me for more factual goodies. It is indeed, yeah, I do like tomatoes. Peace and love to you. Peas and fluff. And here's one final message from all of the voices in my head here at YouTooSpain. We didn't even have the message, did we? The mid-show advert. Anyway, but let's see all of those crazy characters. Bye for now.
Goodbye, toodaloo,
Peace and love.
peas and fluff.
Oi, oi!
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
One more cosmic dance?
All right then. Look, Mum, I'm dancing.
Oh, I'm all a quiver.
Let's dance.